Welcome back to the show, everybody. We're going to have a great one today. We are going to talk about some Bitcoin news, some stellar news. We're going to talk about some FUD busting that we got to do today, and you're going to like that part. And we're also going to talk about Ripple accelerating its work with central banks. Don't believe it. It's still true. Let's roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get started. So right now, the crypto market collectively at $941 billion plus, just under that $1 trillion mark. And you know what? I think it's holding pretty well, all things considered, with a federal $1.4 trillion lawsuit against Tether, and also knowing we got the SEC lawsuit and a whole bunch of other lawsuits connected to that with XRP. And right now we're seeing Bitcoin at $31,482.38. Ethereum is looking like $1,317.53. And down at the number 5 spot, we see, courtesy of SEC and the dereliction of duty on their part, XRP is coming in at 25 cents, so 0.2599. Now, everything is off, obviously, 8.74% off for the 7-day for XRP. It says we're up almost 2% for the 24-hour. I say I'm not worried about it until we hear some more news that probably sounds like the market's going to get crushed again, and we get down to more like $5 for $1 for XRP, and I'm probably going to buy everything that's left. So buying time is here again. Not financial advice. Let's move on here. We have some stuff we really do need to pay attention to, because all of this coordinates, I believe, and correlates with the new administration coming in, the idea of going green and getting the decarbonization of blockchains, as Ripple likes to say it, or Brad Garlinghouse. One Bitcoin transaction, one Bitcoin transaction can generate the CO2 equivalent of 706,765 Visa credit card transactions. You hear that? That is, I got to be honest with you, that is really not, that does not a solution make. That's how they say it. So I'm just going to say it like that. I mean, this is an issue. This is a huge issue. You couple the proof of work and the energy consumption and the CO2 equivalent put out, generated by Bitcoin on a daily. Can you imagine how many transactions are actually done in a day? I have to say, this is quite troubling here. So let's keep an eye on that, along with the idea that this market has not been determined what these assets are collectively. So more on that in a moment. Okay, now, this is a reminder that Lulu Exchange announces partnership with Ripple and Federal Bank of India. This is a major corridor we're talking about here between Saudi Arabia and India and the UAE. This is a big deal. This is a huge corridor, and I think it says it's not clear if XRP will be used for these transactions, but I think if we all understand the process, ultimately the end goal is to, in fact, use XRP for settlement to get the most benefit out of the entire suite of products that Ripple offers. So, all right, looking here, let's keep moving because we're getting ready to get into it. Privacy-centric messaging app Signal experiments with Stellar-based mobile coin project. The company has been experimenting with monetization, and more recently, Signal has been reportedly testing the crypto network Stellar. That gets interesting. Being able to move money across these individual networks like Signal. That is interesting. Okay, central bank payments news here. Digital money is the topic of the day at BIS. You don't say. At the central bank of central banks, digital money is the topic of the day, in addition to General Manager Karsten's speech on the topic, and the third central bank CBDC survey also released as a report of permission distributed ledger and governance of money. Now, moving forward here, we also look if digital currencies, from Augustine Carstens as well, if digital currencies are needed, central banks should be the issuers. Ooh, did you hear that? as they are the best place to provide sound money. Augustin Karsten speaks on central bank digital currencies and the future of the monetary system. That is something to note, ladies and gentlemen. That is something to note. They want to keep control. Wow, did you ever think it? Because I know I did. Hold on here. My cat, Bobo's, Pepper the cat, has just run across my keyboard. I hope that we're still recording. I think we are. Yeah, it's nothing but the best. It's a high dollar production facility we're running here. Back to it, but this is very important. Obviously, we want to pay attention to what's happening here. The narrative, I believe, is clearly being set that the central banks want to control this issue of central bank digital currencies, which will become the on and off ramp and the wholesale back end, in particular to whatever region you're in. Because some of these central banks are going to go wholesale back end, and some of these I would imagine, like the Bahamian central bank, will want to try to integrate, consumer to bank with the CBDC. So this will be different experiments in different regions based on, I think, the size of those banks and the needs of those banks. So it's going to be very interesting. This is from ARCA co-founder, and I have to say, this is not nice what he says about XRP. The co-founder, Phil Liu, says, XRP, this thing will be a remnant of history by the end of 2021. And there's not much in the article where I would open it up. He doesn't say much else other than that. But what I would say is that knowing full well what XRP is designed to do, and by the way, ARCA, is run on the Ethereum network. They're running on the Ethereum network smart contracts, and they have a license that allows them to trade and tokenize U.S. Treasury bills. Don't believe that. It's still true. So that's an important thing to note. They are not just no one. ARCA is doing it, and they're doing it with, securities license approval. So the fact that they're saying that, to me, I almost want to suggest what I get out of that more than anything is the fear that ARCA could have chosen the wrong network and XRP could decimate them in combination with Flare networks. Oops, did I just say that out loud? Because I did. Because the Ethereum contracts are already fairly expensive now. And if you really factor in, as they try to make this really, really painful transition from proof of work on the Ethereum network to proof of stake, everyone's going to begin staking the Ethereum token. And guess what? It's going to cost too much to use the network. Rolling in Flare networks that uses the Ethereum virtual machine combined with the ability to bridge across the XRP ledger, and you can use the Spark token, and you can now have the benefits of the Ethereum network, but not the fees, as I understand it. So that, to me, is a pretty interesting concept. And if I was ARCA, I might be thinking about changing the network I'm on. Well, just saying. Be worried a little less about what I think of XRP and be a little more worried about how I make my money on Ethereum. More central banks are moving from conceptual work to experimentation, according to a new report by Bank of International Settlements. Again, Bank of International Settlements, if you can't tell, is the star of the show today. 80% of central banks are pursuing or in some stage of developing a CBDC. And you think that that's happening because they're not going to be moving to a digital network? Well, of course they are. That's the point, right? And the point is we're about to send this baby home, so stay with us here, because this is Christine Lagarde, and listen to what she says about legitimate businesses and innovators in this space. Listen to this.
New technologies that will actually change the way in which intermediation is conducted. Eliminate some of the barriers, including the unconscious biases that exists out there. And I think in the banking system at large in many countries, the difference will not be between those who are disrupted and those who survive, but it will be between those who are cannibalized because they are not seeing it coming and they're not embracing it, and those who self-induce that cannibalization. And I'm using cannibalization on purpose because it's a bit of a striking, horrible word. But it's really what it means. It's you're going to disrupt your business model, you're going to change it, you're going to reduce your cost, you're going to expedite your transactions, and you're going to continue to inspire confidence because you will build that on the basis of an existing backbone, which is your bank and the confidence relationship that you've established with your customers. So that's where I see changes happening now. If you think of Circle and Ripples and all those, that's where they are active and
she just talked about changing the backbone. Listen again here.
your business model, you're going to change it, you're going to reduce your cost, you're going to expedite your transactions, and you're going to continue to inspire confidence because you will build that on the basis of an existing backbone, which is your bank and the confidence relationship that you've established with your customers. So that's where I see changes happening now. If you think of Circle and Ripples and all those, that's where they are active and helpful.
You know, it's pretty interesting because when you think about it, she's talking about saving and cutting costs on intermediation and using the backbone of the banking system to bring these innovators in like Ripple and Circle. And what did we just see about Circle? Circle just connected and joined up with ACH, Automated Clearinghouse, right? And the payments network from banks to banks all over the place. I see all of this market infrastructure coming together. And if that doesn't get you, listen to what Ashish Burler's getting ready to tell you right here. Listen to this.
We know financial institutions, we know security, we know how to move money cross borders efficiently. I think that tapping into the local domestic CBDC projects, so again, CBDC, central bank digital currency projects, are going to be a further accelerant for adoption of Ripple technology. But we're going to be there. We're meeting and actively discussing that strategy with several central banks around the world, super open to partnerships with companies like Ripple to help solve different aspects of the pain point there. No financial.
I mean, Christine Lagarde tells it to you. Ashish Burler tells it to you. Brad Garlinghouse told us that we do know that central banks are looking to issue stable coins off of the XRP Ledger open source technology. All of this is happening while we're watching an SEC lawsuit against Ripple and XRP allegedly being an unregistered security. Well, you know what? You better start entertaining the notion that not only XRP could get a security designation, and I'd love it if it was a currency, but I'm telling you, we need to entertain the idea that it may get a security designation because banks are comfortable with working with securities, just like they're comfortable working with currencies, obviously. I get it. But again, you could really make this thing like the new introduction of a bearer bond that is tokenized or digitized. You could give it a fixed income price set because it's a fixed income investment product. And then it could be jurisdictionless because anyone could hold it and exchange it, obviously, against any trading pair of any tokenized asset of value and or fiat digital dollar. And with that being said, let's take a look at this because this is a video from one of our lawyers in the XRP space here, crypto space. And this is Jeremy, who's had some really great videos and amazing insight on this stuff. And I want to thank Jeremy for that. And I'm not going to play this video for you, but he basically talks about what I've been talking about. It's the idea that XRP could get a security designation and the idea that the SEC, through all these little cases over the last several years, has been building this momentum by winning or getting decisions one way or the other that allows them to take this behemoth company of Ripple and challenge them now for a security status of XRP. And what's interesting here is that he really entertains the notion of what we talked about yesterday on the show here, is the idea that everything in the crypto space has not been classified. Bitcoin and Ethereum, when Hinman came out, I think it was in 2018, said at a conference he believed that they were not securities. He did not make an official ruling. Did you get that? None of these assets have truly been defined. Now, a federal judge ruled in the Bitcoin, I believe it was, case that all cryptocurrencies were to be regulated as commodities by the CFTC. That, to me, is the last sound decision that was made of any significance in an official ruling. And that was made based off of the spinoff of that case Bitcoin, I believe it was. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what it was. And we still need clarity. Now, it would be great to see these things as commodities or what have you, but it would not surprise me if XRP would find itself in a security designation. And I don't think that we have to think this doom and gloom if it should happen. And I don't think it would be a security in the sense that all of a sudden you own a piece of Ripple, the company. There's many other ways that this could go. If it gets a security designation, it could be treated like a bearer bond, which is just another issuance, right, of this asset that obviously has its value based by all of the banks and financial institutions around the world moving their utility and volume onto the network. That's where XRP is intended to get its true value from. That's why we have heard many, many times, we have heard Brad Garlinghouse or Dilip Rao or Michelle Bond, we are not consumer facing in any way. It doesn't mean they don't like us. It just means that's not where the business model's going. And I think if we all take ourselves out of this thing for a second to just understand what the ultimate end goal here for Ripple and XRP is, I think it gets much easier to understand that it may, in fact, work best as a security designation with the utility of a stablecoin. Then I think we run the potential then of maybe even seeing what Mark Carney suggested in 2019 to the G30 report, which was, in fact, we could serve best for the world and the banks if we are a global stablecoin. That's going to do it for me. One thing I know is regardless of all the things that are happening and how the U.S. residents have been sidelined at trying to buy XRP, I find it no mistake that that moment is happening at the very same time that we hear Ripple and all the partners for them continuing to implement what they're doing, and the Ripple move forward with the central banks, as we're hearing here today again, and being reassured by Ashish Birla. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share with somebody you know and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Make sure you check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. There's some really great products and services that I use each and every day, and they are trusted, vetted links. I'll catch all of you on the next one.